This is Sean Bragdon with BGA Insurance. I'm a managing partner here. Wanted to thank everyone for joining us on this webinar today. Today, we're going to have John Boothman speak. He is with Ilife Technologies. He's the strategic distribution partner, and we're really excited with our working relationship with Ilife Tech. They have a wonderful product that I think can help anyone that's on this call. Basically, many of the advisors I work with do not have any type of presence on the internet. Many do not have a website. And certainly, I would imagine most of you could always use some more insurance leads. And that's what this platform is designed to do. Very inexpensive platform to get enrolled with. And I think John should be able to answer any questions you have along the way. Please just keep yourself on mute during the call, because we got a lot of people on this call. And if you have a question, just type it in and we should be able to answer your questions along the way. Well, John, go ahead. The show's yours.
Great. Thank you so much. Like Sean just said, you could mute your phones, and I'll share my screen here and we'll get rolling. So give me a moment. Take control here. Well, welcome everyone. And it was kind of fun just in these last few minutes here looking at the names coming on board. I see quite a few friends and people that I know from the industry. So that's very cool. And for all of you who we haven't met yet, welcome and look forward to meeting you. My name's John Boothman. I am with Ilife, as Sean introduced me. A little bit of background so you know who you're speaking with. I've been in the industry I'm using the number 20 for a career. So I've been around the industry doing exactly what you do. That's selling life insurance, mostly from a wholesale perspective, whether it's point of sale or kind of more true wholesaling, but in a variety of roles, always selling life insurance. So in short, I know exactly what it's all about. I know how difficult it is, as well as how important it is to place life insurance, get the protection that your family and or businesses and individuals need. And then a little bit about Ilife, just to give you an overview. As Sean mentioned, we've been involved with BGA Insurance for some time. Ilife is new, though. It was a couple of years in the making. Two founders, Amit and Nelson, engineers, you could imagine. Nelson also spent some time in life insurance, which is where this idea came from, but a technical background for sure. And that was a couple of years of building out the platform. And we've only been live, which is kind of hard to imagine, 4 or 5 months to the public, let's say. So that's very, very new in the scheme of things. New and evolving and enhancing. And that's what you see with digital platforms, because it's, all behind the scenes, the coding, the growth. So what you see today and what we'll talk about today really is only a snapshot of what you'll see in the future as it changes and grows down the road. But Ilife was developed for the benefit of agents or agencies to enhance their business, to bring digital experience, online marketing, browsing, everything that you've seen in the rest of the market segments, let's say, except in life insurance. So if you're going to go buy a car, you probably browse Carfax or cars.com or Auto Trader and do your homework before, and then narrow it down and go to a dealership. If you're going to buy a laptop, probably the one you're staring at, you spend some time browsing Best Buy or whatever your favorite electronics dealer is. Browse, learn, see what's in the marketplace before you purchase. So that's been going on since the dot-com boom for 20 years, but not in life insurance. And that's exactly what Ilife brings to life insurance, a digital and online marketing experience to create client engagement for the benefit of agents and agencies. And then on the flip side, what we're not is we're not a BGA like BGA. We're not in your contracting. We're not in distribution. We are outside of your hierarchy. We are not going to disrupt your business in any way. We're not in your commission structure. We're kind of like Zoom that we're looking at. We're an outside resource for the benefit of advisors to grow their business. So little overview of Ilife there. We're going to get more into it. But what I'd like to share with you today is to start off with a sales idea. And this, in fact, is the most important sales idea in the post-COVID era. And that sales idea is digital and online marketing. And that is, in fact, what iLife is. So just thinking about sales ideas for a moment, and if you've been in the industry more than 5 minutes, you know what sales ideas are. They're kind of the common communication between distribution, carriers, and agents and advisors. And they've been around a long time, whether it's the business strategies, executive benefits, buy-sell agreements, whether it's all the max strategies for individuals, annuity max or pension max or social security max. They've been around a long time and they really haven't changed. But what has changed is everything else, as we mentioned, and that's how businesses market themselves and expose themselves to vast audiences via digital and online marketing. So the sales idea of digital and online marketing is what we're going to talk today about. And as I get into the demo of iLife, I will break that down for you into 3 areas so that we'll connect the dots here between that most important sales idea and the iLife platform. So let me just pause for a moment, and I'm not sure, Sean, if you're on mute or if you can just pause for a moment, unmute yourself if you have any comments on our opening, and then we'll go from there. Okay, cool. So again, digital and online marketing, and it's exactly what you're looking at. So if you're sharing my screen, you should be seeing a beautiful picture. Now this is my iLife site that I created, and you very easily can do the same thing too. This is the consumer or the prospect site. This is exactly what you can build in a few minutes, be online and ready to drive hundreds, if not thousands of prospects to your site. Now I'm going to come back to this, but I want to start here with the client side because this is what it's all about, is prospecting and clients and giving them a place to go. With a call to action, you have a place for them with one click to go, enter your digital store, and begin browsing for life insurance. And then kind of on a funny note, you may have been exposed to, like remote selling, agent anywhere. You could be sitting in this picture selling life insurance with the iLife platform. So my choice of picture here just for fun, but for your site, it could be anything that's pertinent to your firm or the look or the logos that you're going to upload for your site, just like I've done here. So this is the client site. This is the destination. And so now we're going to flip to how do we build that destination? How do we get there? And all the time that we're going through the site, I want you to remember the sales idea of digital and online marketing. We're going to break it down into digital marketing, which is the link I'm going to show you, and the online store that you're just looking at the landing page of now. And then browsing, which is the client experience. When they enter your store, and this is the front door, they are absolutely free to browse all types of life insurance. And that browsing experience is what this is all about. Just like we mentioned a minute ago, just like you would browse for cars or laptops or airline tickets or almost everything else, your clients are going to do it here on your site. And then the third element of this is client engagement. They're in your site, they're browsing, they're coming up with ideas, formulating questions, and there's a built-in CRM for complete and full engagement with your clients in real time, because remember, they are your clients. So how do we get here? What I'm going to do here is I'm going to flip on you, and when I do that, I'll just explain that the iLife platform is in 2 parts. There's the client-facing part that we were just looking at, where you're going to drive your prospects to, and then there's the agent site, and this is what we're looking at now. This is your cockpit. This is your dashboard. This is where you monitor your business once set up, look at your prospect list, take action. All the CRM capability is built in here. But we're not going to get in the weeds on that today because there's just too much functionality. But what is important is how you get started. And so when you sign up with iLife, you've got your agent dashboard. And as easy as this, there's the built-in website builder. And it looks just like this. Let me move my screen. Hold on. You would enter your information. I'm keeping it simple for me, John Boothman Insurance. Whatever I want to say on my landing page, I can create my own domain. Yours could be BGA Insurance, for example. You upload any photo or logo that you want for the imagery of your website, your picture. You can see what I did, upload it, takes you within a minute to do that. And then a little bit about yourself. There's an additional page with your picture, your bio, anything you'd like your prospects and clients to know about you, and you publish it. And that simple, or that simply, you are up and running. And what does up and running mean? What it means is that you've created this marketable link. And this is the key. On the back end here, you've created this marketable link that you are going to share everywhere and anywhere. It's the front door to your site, your online store. Now, I'll just pause for a moment because there's always tons of questions. Well, how do I market myself? And the simple answer is you market yourself the same way you've been marketing yourself forever. However you're doing it, now you're able to do it with a link, which is a destination to invite clients and prospects into your store and begin a browsing experience and engage with you. So that might be newsletter blasts that you're doing. It might be blogs that you're doing. You would include your link. You might be marketing on Facebook or Twitter, which we can help you do, and you see that here, or on LinkedIn, or across any social media. It could be any kind of blogs. And, you know, just for fun, to take it to another level, and this is sort of beyond today's conversation, you can turn this link into a QR code. And many of you know what a QR code, so if you ask the question, how do I market myself? Turn it into a QR code, get it posted on the Jumbotron at SoFi Stadium, and you have 90,000 people that can take a photo of your QR code and enter your online store. So think about that for a moment. In other words, the opportunities to market yourself digitally are endless. It's only limited by your imagination, and many of you are doing that already, or many of you just want to get started, but it starts with this link. So simply, you market this link or add it to any marketing you're doing, or turn it into a QR code and print it on a t-shirt, whatever you want to do, however you want to market yourself. And when your client clicks on the link, they come to your landing page. Now there's different functionality that, of course, you can change this landing page. You can set it up so that they land somewhere different in your site. But just for simplicity's sake, let's say we drive your clients to the landing page, and what are they going to do? They're going to read a little bit about you, whatever you've put here, and they're going to click to browse quotes. So now they've entered you own it, your digital online store. And most importantly about what their journey they've begun now is what they don't see or what they haven't done. So let me pause for a moment and ask Sean if you can unmute. What is it that you don't see here?
What I don't see there?
Yeah, what do you not see on this page?
I don't see any life insurance quotes yet.
You don't see any life insurance quotes. What else don't you see?
I don't know.
I know, and it's terrible to be put on the spot. Just having some fun. What you don't see is a form to fill out. If you think about all the different websites, across our industry, fill out a form, you click on get quote, you get a form, fill out the form, we'll send you a quote, we'll have someone call you with a quote. What you don't see here is fill out a form. And that's typically what you see on all they're not really similar, but sort of closest sites that have, some kind of quoting mechanism. There's no form here. Forms are what turn off clients and prospects. People don't want to fill out a form. As soon as you get to a form, it's a deal breaker. What they see is a browsing experience. So they see some options. Now remember, this is a consumer, not a life insurance expert. So it needs to be simple, user-friendly, informative, and engaging. What am I interested in? Is it coverage and protection? Am I interested in accumulation? And maybe they come into your site teed up by how you marketed to them. Maybe it was an article about permanent life insurance. Maybe it was an article about the power of dividends. Maybe it was about terms. So they very well or very likely might come into your site as a result of something they have seen you post or do or write about. So they come in with some ideas. Wow, I'm interested in permanent insurance. Could be final expense. They're going to read about it and they're going to start their journey. How much would they like? So we'll just make something up here. Again, no forms to fill out. Are you male or female? Well, this person is a female. Let's talk about age so that we can price correctly. We're going to make up a year, something kind of friendly here. 1967. A little bit about their health. Now, we don't want to get in the weeds here. We don't know the client perhaps yet. They're not going to look at underwriting charts. So their best guess, are they of average health? Are they a training triathlete, whatever seems right for them? Are they a smoker? No. Of course, we need the zip code to know where they are. And as quick as that, they have thousands of policy options. They are absolutely free and in a browsing experience, just like they would be with airline tickets or laptops or cars. The platform comes up with a host of options that meet or fit what they've asked for. You know, their sex, the coverage amounts, etc. So they're going to see a variety of options, and they're free to change these, filter them, anything they'd like. But to continue the browsing and learning experience, let's say it was an article about dividends that they read. So they're interested in Mass Mutual. Well, how does Mass Mutual compare to other alternate investments in the environment? Well, things are looking pretty small here, and this has got a guaranteed 4%. So in other words, there's a lot involved here in browsing, and more than you really can absorb in one day. But just know your client, importantly, is free to browse through hundreds of thousands of policies and drill down. Well, what do dividends look like compared to other investments? So they're able to click on and bring up graphs and charts that are specific to that product and compare them to other indices in the marketplace. So you're all familiar with this, dividends versus alternative investments. Dividends look pretty good at 7%. So there's a piece of information for the client. Now, also, if I step back, what didn't happen? And what didn't happen was your client look at a product, call you up, say, well, I'm kind of interested in Mass Mutual. Could I look at a chart comparing it to other products? And you say, great, I'll have my back office do it, and we'll send it to you on Thursday. That didn't happen. This is all built into the consumer-driven browsing experience. They're doing this themselves. They're browsing for life insurance, comparing it to alternatives, comparing it to other products in the middle of the night on Saturday, just like people typically do, browsing for things when they're not working, at their leisure, on their time, and at their pace. They're able to look through and get an understanding of life insurance products, how they compare. And what they're doing here is formulating questions for that next meeting maybe you're going to have, or next phone call. This isn't replacing you. This is just empowering your consumers or prospects to have a better conversation with you. So as we look through here, and I won't spend a bunch of time in the weeds, but there's many of the charts and graphs and comparisons that you all are used to built in. And again, your back office isn't spending time doing it, and you're not wasting a week getting it to them. So just continuing on the journey here a little bit, perhaps they want to compare products. Got a 12 pay and a 10 pay. Well, how do those stack up? Well, let's select them and compare them. So this is something commonly that you have your back office create, pull out the values, the dividend rate. This is how long they're paying for. Here's the death benefit comparison. And yes, you can click over and look at cash value comparison. So your clients can spend all night long, all weekend long, researching, looking, comparing products so they're more educated when they speak to you. So I'll close that down for a moment. And then we just pause again go back to Sean for a moment, see if there's any questions you have, Sean, or comments.
We do have a couple of questions, John. First off,
Okay.
can the permanent life insurance section on the website be modified to specifically state whole life or index UL or universal life, or is it just always static at permanent insurance?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Two answers to that, and you'll hear me say that more than a few times. On our standard iLife site that most agents sign up for, it would be predetermined. In fact, what you're looking at, other than you build your own landing page and your own about page and your own look, but the engine itself is static. And then if I go to the next level and you're an enterprise, maybe an agency or some larger enterprise, and you want to customize such things, then absolutely yes, you can do that. And if you'd like an example of that, you can go to surevested.com and see how an agency has taken our platform and given it their, what you call UX, or their interface, and a different look. Thanks for the question, Sean.
Next question is, what's it cost?
Okay. So a couple of answers again. So starting with one agent is $99 a month. It's a monthly subscription. Remember, we're not in your hierarchy. We're not a percent of your comp. $99 a month is the simple and super low price for one agent. And then there's an enterprise version, which is a little bit bigger depending on how many agents you have. But that's the starting.
And that's what I have so far.
Okay, cool. All right. So let's just look at browsing a little bit. And this isn't anything that you all don't know, but as your client walks through, they can change the filters, change the product, change who it is that maybe they want to go to good health. So changing all the inputs and continuing the browsing experience through different kinds of products, changing their date if they want to, or another person, it's all here. So super simple to change and look at different types of products, compare term to perm. Maybe I want both. Maybe I want, let's say, 1.25 million of term. Let's look at that. And here we are. So endless possibilities on their own time and the products that you've selected for them to look at. So let's go to the next step. That's what the browsing experience is. In short, there's more to it, but for today's purposes, that's the browsing experience. So let's go to the next level. Your client's looking through here. They really like the Lincoln product. That's about what they want. What do they want to do next? Well, they were going to get two choices. And they're either going to go straight down the path of filling out what we call our pre-application. The list will look familiar to you. It's all the necessary information that you need for any carrier app. So that's all here. And you may have heard just now my phone ding, and we'll get into it later, but there's in this CRM capability, you can have your notifications set so that when a client is filling out this app, you get notifications. More on that later. But additionally, so they can go down the road of filling out a pre-application or connect with you. So when they do that, then they get the verification here needed, their phone number, their email address, their name. That's also going to be captured. It's going to bring up the product that they had selected or they were looking at. And now they have all these incredible opportunities to communicate with you. Now, you've already been notified, should you set it up that way, that someone named John Boothman perhaps is in your store. You can communicate with them via email. Of course, calling, we'll call you or you call us. The point of this is there's full real-time capability to communicate between client and advisor. And by far and away, the coolest and most used option is the chat functionality. And you're all familiar with chatting, but this takes it to another level. Here's the client, and maybe it's the middle of the night, so they're not going to disturb you with a call, but they can send you a chat. Hey, John, I need to talk. So whatever they'd like to say to you, or set an appointment. I'll just keep it brief. They're sending chats to you, and they can do this unlimited. And now that we've said that, we've sort of gone through the browsing. Remember, you could spend a ton of time on browsing, maybe selecting a product, maybe engaging with the advisor, and that's truly what it's all about. Now you're going to take that client or prospect wherever you would normally take them. And I want to emphasize that because so often I get questions, well, they were looking at Lincoln product, but I like to sell Columbus Life. Okay, fine. You're not in any way limited to the products on the platform, the selections they've made. All you've done is created engagement. iLife is a funnel, and picture it as a way to get hundreds or thousands of people into your site, browsing in your site with an experience they can't get anywhere else, and then engaging with you. So you've got them down to the 20-yard line, and like you always do with your clients and prospects, you're going to find out more about what their needs are. It might even be annuities for that matter, or assets or investment products. It doesn't matter. There's no limitation here, but you've engaged the client and you're going to go with them where that client needs to go. So they've chatted with you. Now let's go back. This takes me back now to the agent dashboard. Because you've had someone in there chatting, here's their chat. Someone named John has pinged you. I need to talk, set an appointment. Maybe you're free to talk with them, maybe you're not. At the same time, you can chat back anything you want. Again, this is in real time. If you can spell, I will call you. And maybe you can call them, or maybe on Monday. So back and forth engagement. As well, another really cool functionality in the chat box here is that you could send them anything you want to send them. I mentioned a moment ago that maybe they were looking at Lincoln, but you really want to send them a Columbus Life or an Allianz product. Well, you can simply pull it down. Maybe you've had that product run. Maybe you've got an illustration. You can pull it down and send it in the chat. Maybe it's a, let me see if I can find it. Maybe it's yikes. I was looking for my HIPAA form. You want to send them a HIPAA form. There it is, just to show you how it works. There's the HIPAA form. You just sent them. So it just emphasizes how you're not limited in any way to the platform. You can send back and forth any documents you've created, any illustrations you've run, other products that you've looked at. So I'm going to say, check this out and send it to my client. Really cool feature and functionality in the CRM part of the platform here. As well, now that we've done that, just know that all those conversations, all those chats, all your engagement with your clients is captured here. So you can review, of course, all my name, but this would be all your clients, how you've communicated with them. It's documented. It's all in one place. Super cool. And then just as we're talking about the CRM a little bit here, all the other functionality, and again, we don't want to get too in the weeds, but here's all my prospects. It's all my name. Yours would be all your clients, what products they've looked at. Maybe you're going to go to an e-app with them. Maybe they've already submitted an app, so you can update that. Visitors, track all the visitors in your platform. Lots you can do here. And then further, if you're an enterprise, there's a lot of functionality for an enterprise, which is an agency, to track all your agents, assign leads to your agents, recruit agents. It's all built in here. And then a new, I'll just show you real quick, a new functionality as of this week is iLife is also building out leads. So you can now, just starting, buy leads on the platform. And what those leads are is they're leads generated by prospects visiting an affiliate iLife platform. So they're real clients browsing in a platform, gone all the way to an application and say, hey, I want to talk to someone. So we have a lead functionality that we're just building out here too. So let me pause for that. I took you on a fairly quick journey from the marketing link, how to market your link out across all the social media or anywhere you're marketing, driving your clients and prospects into a browsing experience. And then the third element is engaging with you. And you can see here, there's tons of way to engage and capture and share information with your clients. So let me pause on that. I'll go back to Sean for a moment and see what questions there are.
We got a couple questions, John. First off, can you just have the companies listed that you're appointed with as an advisor?
You can. So you can absolutely. You can turn on or off or select or deselect the products you want to show on your platform. The answer is yes. If you didn't want Lincoln, I could have just turned it off.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Thanks for the question.
You answered some of this, if not all of it. How do you track who is on your website? I would imagine, first off, if they're chatting with you, that's easy. But if they're just taking a look at it, I guess, is there some tracking mechanism there? Yeah.
So there's a couple. What you just said is the first one, and that's when they're chatting with you. That's all documented. The second is if you think when we went back to the contact an advisor and the client needed to put in their name, email address, and phone number, then that's the first place that it's captured. And why that's important is because the phone numbers are validated. So if you think for a minute in a whole lot of other worlds where you're generating leads or you're getting leads, they're not validated. But if a client comes into our platform and enters their phone number, that phone number is validated. We have a process behind the scenes that validates that number. You absolutely know that it's a real visitor, real person, and they're captured here. And then the third way is, I think, the most obvious, and that's when they even start to fill out a pre-application, that's captured. And again, you're notified that that's going on. So that's in the platform as well.
Here's another question. Does the system quote hybrid long-term care products like a Lincoln Money Guard or a One America or even an Index UL with a long-term care rider? Is that a capability embedded in it?
Yeah, that's a super question. So at this time, no, but the hybrid products are on our roadmap. As you know, those are insurance-based products. So as we build this platform out, remember it's 4 or 5 months into it, we have an extensive roadmap, and it will include LTC, DI. We're talking about annuities, but because it's the same carriers, the hybrid or the asset-based LTC is on the short list. So you'll see that before long.
Okay. If the client or prospect is completing a pre-application, are they notified that a final application will be needed?
Okay, hold that thought for a moment. Let me go back to the previous question, thinking about hybrid, because like we were talking about, you're not limited to anything on the platform. Should you be working with a client, they're in your platform, you can run a Lincoln Money Guard or a Care Matters on WinFlex and just send it to them through the chat function. So just to complete that thought of any product is possible to work with through the platform, that's very important. Now, on to the question you asked again. I didn't completely digest that. So could you go one more time?
So if the prospects are completing a pre-application, are they notified that a final application will be needed? And so I guess we're talking about the website itself isn't actually completing an e-application that's going to the carrier. That would be an extra step that the agent's going to be completing.
That's right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So there's a lot built into that question. When a client fills out a pre-application, it posts to their site, and I didn't, go all the way into the weeds here, but when a client enters their information, there's a notice and it tells them that they've created a dashboard, and this is it. So what they will see on their side is the products they've looked at. They can view the chat on that product. They can resume filling out an app if they didn't complete it. And really cool, when advised by the advisor, you, the agent, they can download and connect their medical records through Human API, which will save weeks of, fetching APSs. So this functionality also is built in here. So thanks for the reminder, because I didn't go all the way through that. but this is another very robust functionality built into the platform. Now, specifically to the question, are they notified? It will be posted here on their dashboard, their pre-application. It will also be posted on the agent's dashboard for him to either download or do whatever. And the agent is going to notify that client through his chat or however he or she is engaging them. Here's what we're going to do next. We're either going to go outside to another product. We're going to do an e-app somewhere. It's the agent, and this is what I kind of alluded to earlier. That's what I call getting to the 20-yard line. And really then it's the agent who we're not going to disrupt your business in any way, takes that pre-app information, and then per conversations with the client, goes to the next step. Whatever they would do normally, that's now what the agent is going to do.
All right. One last question here. Can the contacts from the Ilife CRM be exported to our own CRM?
Yes, there's a download functionality.
All right. I think that's all the questions I have at the moment.
Okay. Okay. Then I'll just kind of go back and recap where we started. And my goal here was to marry together, which I believe is the most important sales idea. And again, in post-COVID, and I say post-COVID because we all came to the realization with, no face-to-face meetings, how important it is to communicate. And it's really been a big change in our industry, working virtually or via Zoom or over the phone. And now Ilife takes that to a whole nother level. Not only that you don't have to be face-to-face, but with the digital link and the marketing capability, you can reach out to hundreds of thousands of clients. So we covered that, and then a little bit of a walkthrough. And today's purpose was just kind of a brief demo on the capability of the platform, not getting too in the weeds because you know what happens when we do that, just so that you understand what browsing is all about, what truly browsing for life insurance can be on your agent's digital site here, and then your ability to engage them. So those three areas of the sales idea, I hope I connected to the functionality of the platform. And with that, I think I'll either leave it there or see if you have any closing comments or additions, Sean.
Yeah. Is there a trial version, and how long is the trial version available?
There is a trial version, and you can get that on our website, ilife.tech. Lots of information there, lots of resources, lots of good ideas about digital and online marketing. And yes, you can sign up for a free account. It is free. The limitation is not all the robust functionality of the professional account or the enterprise, only up to 10 prospects, but it doesn't have a time limit on it, just has a prospect limit. So yes, you're free to do that. And again, the pro version is $99. And then a lot of other resources on our ilife.tech. Let me just add to that, because we were talking about price now. Through BGA Insurance and through today's webinar, Sean or I can provide you with a special link that will give you a $79.99 price for signing up with Ilife. So again, little marketing partnership there, discounted price to $79 for those of you that are on the call today. And to do that, we send you a link that gets to that specifically.
Okay. So, and people are asking for your contact information.
Okay.
So I'm actually.
So let me do this. Sorry. If you can read, I don't know your screen resolution, but John Boothman at the bottom, here's my phone number. And very simply, my email address is John, John, at ilife.tech. That's ILIFE.TECH. Super simple.
And how do they access that discount again, John?
It's a link that we will send to them, just like we were talking about links all day long today.
Okay.
We have a special link that when they sign up through the link, it addresses the special discount price.
So we can just send out that link to everybody that attended the webinar today.
Yes, and we sent that to you, Sean, I believe, a couple of days ago. Your Kaylin.
Okay, great.
Yep.
I'll make
so
sure
you have
that gets
that,
out
and we
to
have
everyone.
that. Sounds good. Thank you.
Not seeing any other questions. So I want to thank everyone for attending. We will have this webinar recorded and posted on our website if you want to take a look through it again. If you have any questions or need help with a demo, feel free to give John Boothman a call. And for your life insurance needs, long-term care needs, annuity, disability income, we hope you'll choose BGA Insurance. And thanks for attending.
Thank you so much, everyone.